Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Saturday evening, August 17, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons during the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak of Atlantic hurricane season, that's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your coworkers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Leave a comment down below letting me know what the weather has been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so let us take a look at this post that was made here on our Twitter page. Keep in mind that these posts aren't only made here on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica, but on our Instagram page at weather.jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So we highlighted the fact that today was the anniversary of Hurricane Charlie that hit Jamaica in 1951. So this is the Great 51 storm that some of your grandparents or some of your parents have talked about within the past decade or so. So we posted here this morning at around 8:39 a.m. Today in hurricane history, 73 years ago on August 17, 1951, Hurricane Charlie hit Jamaica as a powerful Category 3, bringing strong winds and torrential rainfall, causing 152 fatalities and racking up 50 million US dollars in damages in Jamaica. Have you heard of this hurricane? And this is the track right here. We know the dark blues represent tropical depression status. The light blues represents tropical storm status. And we can see that it crossed across the Eastern Caribbean as a tropical storm. Then the light yellows, Category 1 hurricane status. We have more yellows right here, making it a Category 2 right there when it was passing to the south of Haiti. Then it became Category 3 in the gold color when it was about to make landfall across Jamaica. It made more of a landfall across especially southern Jamaica right there. So it headed right into portions of St. Catherine, crossed into Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, and then we saw that it definitely decreased in intensity, becoming a Category 2 by the time it was across Western Jamaica. Then back to a Category 1 when it left the island. Then it was as expected to increase in intensity when it got back over the water, back to a Category 2, Category 3, then back to a Category, well, increasing to a Category 4 by the time it was about to hit the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico. And then as expected, it decreased in intensity, then increased again before it headed into mainland Mexico right there, before dying out over land. And we definitely had some of our commenters on our Instagram page and on our Twitter page right here confirming the fact that they've heard about this hurricane before. We have Grace P. Pinnock right here stating, yes, my parents experienced it. They did not suffer any serious severe adverse effects from it. However, my mother said she stood with her back to the door of her parents' house to prevent it from flying open. My father lived alone, but his house stood firm. Them still a scam was stating, yes, my mom used to speak of it. Sylvan Angwen, if I'm not butchering your name, stated, yes, I have heard about this hurricane Charlie. Polly Cyborg stating, they still talk about it there. Brutal. On our Instagram page, we have Sanzis R stating, my father used to speak of it and what he witnessed his father do to protect the house and property. We also have Jodine McIntosh right here stating, my grandma always talked about this storm and how her family had to relocate because of it. And we have Reggae Nick stating, my grandmother talked day and night about Charlie. And we definitely placed a video right here on our social media platforms highlighting the damage that Charlie did. So many washed up ships, damaged buildings and trees. If you haven't seen the videos yet, just go over to our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or Twitter page. If we take a look at the US National Hurricane Center 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook, we can see that they have nothing highlighted but Ernesto, which is still a hurricane. If we take a look right here at the track that Ernesto took, it definitely crossed right over Bermuda, so it definitely made landfall. And it is now to the northeast of the island. But they're definitely still getting those tropical storm force winds as represented by the gold color. So they're still under tropical storm warning in the blue. And if we take a look right here at the track, it's definitely expected to weaken, becoming a tropical storm as it passes to the east of Canada. As of the 8 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time intermediate advisory, that was the 7 p.m. Jamaica time update, the hurricane is still at Category 1 status, packing maximum sustained winds of 75 miles per hour, and he is moving towards the north-northeast at about 6 miles per hour, so he's moving very slowly. The Bermuda is still getting lashed by the system, even although they've been getting lashed since Friday. So we've gone through Alberto that slammed into portions of Mexico and affected section of Texas. We've gone through Beryl that crossed the Windward Islands into portions of Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, the Yucatan Peninsula. We've gone through Chris that even finished with its intensity and damage in general before Beryl was over. Crashed into Mexico. Then we had Debbie. And we remember what Debbie did, slammed into the Panhandle or the Big Bend region of Florida, and then back out to sea, and then back into land across Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina with all the heavy rainfall. Now we're still experiencing Ernesto. And one of the next name on the list is Francine, followed by Gordon. And we're definitely going to be getting in on those names definitely before we head into the peak day of Atlantic hurricane season. That's September 10 for sure, and I'll definitely be here to keep you posted with what's happening. If we take a look here at the surface map of the Atlantic for tonight, we can see that we still have that ridge of high pressure to the north of the main development region that is responsible for sending all of the easterly trade winds across the main development region from Africa into the Caribbean. We can see Ernesto right here with his isobars and the hurricane symbol. We can see a tropical wave right here across the central Caribbean, affecting portions of Hispaniola. We can see another tropical wave right here to the east of the Caribbean, affecting northeastern South America. We can see broken lines right here associated with a trough to the north of the main development region. As a matter of fact, there's another trough right here situated across northern Cuba, southern Florida, and the Bahamas. And we can see another tropical wave right here, right there to the west of the Cabo Verde Islands. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, let's see if we can make out all of these entities. So Ernesto right there still spinning away. We can see that we have the clouds associated with the trough affecting portion of the Bahamas, southern Florida, and Cuba. We can see that there are some clouds associated with that tropical wave that's affecting portions of Hispaniola, definitely a large portion of Puerto Rico today. Let's see if we can make out the other tropical wave to the east of the Caribbean. It's somewhere in here, but it's not, packing a lot of punch with the thunderstorm activity. And we can also see the other clouds associated with the tropical wave to the west of the Cabo Verde Islands. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean's weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Saturday, August 17, 2024. It was stated that parts of eastern, central, and western Jamaica will have received some afternoon rainfall on Saturday. And just for reference, we know eastern Jamaica, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey. So Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew. Central Jamaica, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Middlesex. So St. Anne, St. Mary, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine. While Western Jamaica, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall. So Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth. And what ended up happening? As early as 3:05 p.m., we had the infrared satellite image that was posted here on our Twitter page. It was also posted on our Instagram page, or the Jamaica on our TikTok page, or the Jamaican on our Facebook page, or the Jamaica 876. So it showed that we had some clouds bringing overcast skies and isolated thunderstorms to sections of Kingston, St. Andrew, southwestern Portland, southern St. Mary, section of St. Anne, section of St. Catherine, Clarendon, section of northern St. Elizabeth, and Westmoreland at that time. And if we take a look at the other post that was made at 5:05 p.m., highlighting what took place, the clouds definitely pushed from east to west across the island, and we also saw the high cold cloud toss being blown out towards the west southwest, all courtesy of the east northeasterly upper level winds that we spoke about yesterday. And we can even see the sparkling yellow dots that represent some amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes at that time. We also see the high cold cloud tops at the first image being shown by the blues, greens, yellows, oranges, reds, and the blacks within those reds. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of Jamaica before the sun went down, we can see that we still had some clouds across especially western Jamaica, section of St. James, Trelawney, Hanover, Westmoreland, northwestern St. Elizabeth at that time. And we definitely have some comments here from some of our followers on our Instagram page about what took place during the afternoon. Kishana Samuel stating it's raining here in St. Elizabeth. Also, vodka underscore and underscore vibes underscore stating yes I am. One nice good shower, So that indeed confirms the rainfall in those areas. And if we take a look right here at the Barbican camera on See Jamaica's YouTube channel, if we take a look at around 3:55 p.m., this does indeed confirm that they had some rainfall. We can see the floor is, the ground is wet, the street is wet, some cars moving by with their windshield wipers on to signify that there's still some amount of rainfall taking place. More so some light rainfall, so it might have been raining heavily earlier, but not at this time. Don't see persons moving about with their umbrella, but we saw that they definitely got a soaking today in that area. And if we take a look at the latest infrared satellite image of Jamaica to see what's happening right now, the latest images as of 15 minutes past this hour, so as of 9:15 p.m. Jamaica time, we can see that majority of the clouds have cleared out, but we still have some thunderstorms right there off to the west of the island, off to the west of St. Elizabeth, sorry. I'm pretty sure that they're having quite the light show right there off the coast of Negril, Savannah Lamar, Black River, with all of the thunderstorms taking place as we speak off to the west of there. And if we match what we just saw on the infrared satellite image to what's happening right now on the latest Cuban Doppler radar image, we can see the heavy rainfall as represented by the greens, yellows, oranges, reds. Within that yellow, we know all of that represents some significant rainfall. So if there are some fishermen out at sea, they're definitely experiencing some bad weather as we speak. This latest Cuban Doppler radar is as of 10 minutes past 10 Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 10 minutes past 9 Jamaica time. And we can also see that portion of northern Jamaica is receiving some rainfall as we speak. So portions of Trelawney, maybe sections of St. Anne getting in on some rainfall. We can see the clouds right here. But this is why we need the Doppler radar images, because sometimes we can have cloud cover over an area. Not really sure if it's raining. We can even have overcast skies and there's not even rainfall. But that's why the Doppler radar images are so good. Hopefully the Jamaican Doppler radar is up and running soon. I actually spoke to Evan Thompson, and he stated that there's some issue with the manufacturer regarding the Doppler radar at this time, but hopefully they can get it sorted out as soon as possible before the hurricane season ends. If we take a look at the temperatures right now, we can see that we have 27 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 25 degrees Celsius in Kingston, and by about 4 a.m. on Sunday, temperature should dip down to about 25 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. If we take a look here at the forecast from the GFS, this map is showing 18Z on Sunday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Sunday. And we can see Jamaica right here embedded in some yellows and some slight yellow color. Well, some slight gold colors. That represents, let's say, up to 1 degree Celsius above normal temperatures as seen by the key on the right. And we know the normal temperatures for the month of August across Jamaica are about the same as July, almost 91 degrees Fahrenheit. When calculated, 91 degrees Fahrenheit is almost the same as 32.7 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving anywhere from 32 to 33 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Sunday. If we take a look here at the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Sunday, we can see that Jamaica should still be getting in on some Saharan dust as represented by these brown colors. We can also see the brown colors are even more intense the farther east we go across the Atlantic. We see the main development region right here with that vigorous kind of plume heading into portions of the eastern Caribbean. And we know all of this is pushing from east to west, all courtesy of the ridge of high pressure to the north. What we're only hoping is that by the time it gets to our area, majority of it has dwindled down, because we know how bad the Saharan dust can be. It causes hazy skies and it can trigger some amount of asthma, sinusitis, or respiratory illnesses in some persons. Please ensure that you have your meds handy, by the way. If we take a look here at the wave forecast for tomorrow, both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus that we should still be getting in on those lighter shades of blues to darker shades of blues across the Caribbean. That represents anywhere from 0.5 meter to 1.5 meter wave heights. While the highest wave heights should be where Ernesto is right there, across the northern section of the North Atlantic to the north of the Bermuda area, as represented by the purples, reds, and what? That's peach colors, if I'm not mistaken. That represents anywhere from 2 all the way up to 9 meter wave heights, and that's because the winds are going to be strongest up there. It only makes sense that the strongest winds are where the hurricane is located. The yellows, the burgundies, the blues, that represent anywhere from 25 all the way up to 60 knot winds, all the way up to hurricane force winds. While the Caribbean should be getting in on those greens, at most that represents anywhere from 10 to 20 knots. And we see the general direction for these winds coming in from the east. As it relates to the close-up of Jamaica in terms of the wind forecast, we see that the winds are not going to be that strong at all tomorrow. Especially right here on the Euro model, we see the winds coming in from the east. Not so strong on the north coast, maybe averaging at most 5 to 10 knots. On the south coast, it's definitely going to be stronger. We see these brighter shades of greens, up to 15 knots at most. And we also see that the air is going to be piling up across sections of some eastern, maybe section of St. Andrews, maybe section of Kingston, central and western parts, and more so southern Jamaica, to be honest. So definitely central and western Jamaica. I don't want to say eastern Jamaica too much and have the St. Thomas and Portland people hoping for rainfall. But when I say central, we're talking mainly about, well, eastern, we're talking mainly about maybe western portion of that county of Surrey. So definitely portions of Kingston and St. Andrew might get in on the rainfall again, spilling into portions of central and western Jamaica. It's definitely going to be more so southern Jamaica. It's going to be more so southern Jamaica, especially because of the upper level winds that are expected. We're still going to be getting those upper level winds coming in more so from the northeast for tomorrow. Something very similar to what happened today. If we look here at the infrared satellite images, we can see the high cold cloud toss being blown off towards the southwest or towards the west southwest. That's what we're referring to. And whichever direction the upper level winds are blowing off to, might bring more in the way of overcast skies or that bad weather off to the southern portion of the island. If we're going to be getting in on that afternoon thunderstorm activity again across central and western Jamaica, southern Jamaica might just feel the brunt of that. And if we take a look at the actual rainfall forecast maps, it makes sense that the forecast for 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 9 p.m. Jamaica time, is already showing that rainfall that we're currently experiencing across the island as we speak. The Cuban Doppler radar image, let's see if we can reload it, still showing some amount of rainfall represented by the greens, and yellows represent some light to moderate, even some slightly heavy rainfall across sections of Chilani, St. Anne as we speak. And as we go out in time, this map is showing 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 3 p.m. Jamaica time, and we see the consensus for the rainfall across especially central and western Jamaica, and more so southern Jamaica than anything else. So definitely portions of Westmoreland, sections of St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine. The Euro is trying to incorporate some portion of northern Jamaica, so Hanover, southern St. James, Trelawney, southwestern St. Anne, southern St. Mary's, sections of St. Andrew. I'm more inclined to believe what the GFS is showing, more so Kingston, St. Andrew, sections of St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, southern St. Anne, southern Trelawney, southern St. James, Westmoreland right there. Look out for that afternoon rainfall. Try to get that laundry done as early as possible. And both accumulated precipitation forecast maps are in consensus that it's going to be raining somewhere across Jamaica tomorrow. This map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 3 on Monday. When that's calculated, that's about all the way up to 10 p.m. on Sunday. So between now and 10 p.m. on Sunday, these are the rainfall totals that are expected or being predicted by the Euro and the GFS. And these are the locations, and it's showing that especially around Kingston and St. Catherine, the rainfall total should be the highest, all the way up to 0.51 of an inch of rainfall. That's on the GFS. The Euro, a bit more robust, showing even some darker colors, all the way up to 0.74 of an inch of rainfall near Kingston and St. Andrew. Even portion of eastern Jamaica getting in on the mix on the Euro. But we see the general trend, definitely central western Jamaica, and more so southern Jamaica with the most rainfall right there. And we're indeed grateful for that. We can see the rainfall distribution map right here. Bar graph of Kingston at the top. Bar graph at Montego Bay on the bottom. And we can see the rainfall. We know 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall. So you can do the math yourself. Montego Bay usually receives almost 5 inches of rainfall. That's almost 125 millimeters of rainfall during the month of August. Kingston usually receives almost 100 millimeters of rainfall. That's almost 4 inches of rainfall during the month of August. And you can visit weatherandclimate.com to find out about the rainfall in your specific parish, and you can do the math yourself, considering how 1 inch is the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall on the rain gauge. Alright, so that is it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, the tropical wave is definitely bringing some thunderstorms to portion of Puerto Rico, Hispaniola. The trough brings some clouds, showers, and thunder, some sections of the Bahamas, then Florida, section of northern Cuba. And if we take a look here, portions of Central America, Northern South America, getting in on some thunderstorms as we speak. If we take a look at the Doppler radar images of the northeastern Caribbean, we can see exactly what's taking place. Not much actually. Some leftover rainfall associated with a trough that was induced by Ernesto right there to the north of Puerto Rico and the US and British Virgin Islands. If we take a look at the Barbados radar, we can see some rainfall coming in from the northeast, maybe to affect portion of the island tonight. Some of the rainfall already coming in as we speak to portion of eastern Barbados. We don't see much happening across the rest of the islands, but some of this rainfall right there to the northeast of Barbados might make it across the islands eventually. If we take a look at the wide view of Doppler radar images, we can see that rainfall associated with the trough right there to the southwest of Florida, across sections of Cuba, some rainfall right there across the waters to the east of Belize, section of Guatemala getting in on the mix, not to mention section of the Yucatan Peninsula. As it relates to the rainfall that's expected within the next 24 hours, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 3 on Monday. When that's calculated, that's about all the way up until 10 p.m. on Sunday. These are the areas that are going to be picking up the most in the way for rainfall within the next 24 hours. So more rainfall associated with that trough for section of the Bahamas, southern Florida, section of Cuba, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, section of the US and British Virgin Islands, sections of Martinique, maybe St. Lucia, Barbados, associated with that rainfall that we just saw on the Doppler radar images. We also see that we don't have much rainfall to experience across northeastern South America at all. More so isolated showers than anything else. For section of French Guyana, Suriname, section of Guyana. More so southern Venezuela getting in on the brunt of the rainfall within the next 24 hours. As well as section of western Colombia, section of Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala, Belize. And we also see that portions of the Cayman Islands might get in on some rainfall too. That's according to the GFS Euro model, not so much, but even the Yucatan Peninsula getting in on some isolated showers. I know that when both maps from the Euro and the GFS are in consensus like this, the chances of it happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.